No, this is Patrick. No! No! Kakarot! No! No! This is Patrick! What the fuck?
Konnichiwa! Welcome back to Codename Altair, Project Y! Feel relieved, for I'm going to cut you all some slack and ignore the zombies this time around. But we do have to deal with some pesky aliens for the next couple episodes or so. Just bear with me for this time. We're going 4-star for this episode. For this segment is on Dragon Ball Z. So what's our divergence this time? Believe it or not, it's a double feature for yay! I said 4 times within this introduction alone, bitches! The main topic can only occur within another divergence. The first divergence is, what if Krillin killed Vegeta on planet Earth at the end of the Saiyan Saga? For you die-hard Dragon Ball Z fans out there, I know this topic has been covered before, but my goal is to introduce a new branching path into the story arc. So without wasting any more time or wishes, let's just dive right on in. Now starting off with Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma arriving on Namek, we already get a difference here. That is, Kui never arrives on planet Namek because he was assigned to kill Vegeta in the original timeline. With Vegeta already dead on Earth, Kui would be useless to Frieza since he would just be extra muscle. He would be an asset, but with Zarbon and Dodoria already accompanying him to Namek, Kui would just stay put on Planet 79, at least for now. So far, everything after that would remain constant up until Dodoria's failure to kill Gohan, Krillin, and Dende. Unlike the original timeline or Dragon Ball Multiverse, Dodoria would return to Frieza thinking that he had killed the trio. Frieza just buys his word, and then they would go back to the ship. Once the trio escapes Dodoria, they would meet up with Bulma and get the briefing that Goku is on his way to Namek in 1 week. Once they hear this, they make up their plans on how to gather the Dragon Balls and use their wish. They would go to the village once they check the Dragon Radar, and they would have Dende explain the situation to the village elder in order to gain their Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, Frieza would just kick back at his base while he ordered Zarbon, Dodoria, and the scouts to search the planet for the Dragon Balls. This could take days to accomplish, for they're blindly searching for the Dragon Balls since Mori destroyed their scouters. During this time, the trio would visit Guru for his Dragon Ball and some advice. They get a power boost while they're there, of course. The only difference here is that Dende leaves with Gohan and Krillin rather than staying with Guru and Nail. This is because they would need Dende to summon Porunga without hesitation if they managed to steal the other 5 Dragon Balls from Frieza's base. Somewhere along the way back, the trio come across Zarbon and Dodoria either killing innocent Namekians or just flying by, and they would fight the two. Dende would find a place to hide while the 4 fight in a tag team deathmatch, with Zarbon and Dodoria having the edge. Before Zarbon or Dodoria could kill them, however, Goku arrives and instantly flies over to their location and heals both Gohan and Krillin. Once he shows up, both Zarbon and Dodoria would be in shock because of Goku resembling Bardock. This is where we find out what exactly happened to the Saiyan race on planet Vegeta. King Kai's version of events was just a farce. Goku is both horrified and angered by this revelation and swears to make them pay. Dodoria then launches at him, but the fight just ends in 5 seconds, with Goku killing Dodoria in just one hit, just like how he killed Raccoon in the original timeline. Zarbon then starts freaking out and he challenges Goku to avenge Dodoria. Goku easily defeats, but doesn't kill Zarbon in round 1. Zarbon would then transform into his monster stage. The battle would be very similar to Goku's battle with Captain Ginyu in the original timeline. Even though it would be tougher, Goku would still defeat Zarbon on his first try, since he was stronger than Vegeta. Now this is where we finally get to the second but main scenario of the episode. What if Zarbon betrayed Frieza? We all know that Zarbon begged for his life when Vegeta crushed him in round 2.
But since Goku is always such a nice guy, he would think about it but would read his mind before making a decision. If Zarbon lied, then he would be killed instantly, and then the series would end right there because Frieza would prevent them from using the Dragon Balls, let alone escape Namek in all
circumstances.
If both Vegeta and Zarbon were dead. If Zarbon was honest about defecting, then Goku would spare him, and he then joins the team. Dende would heal all 4 of them, and then they would meet up with Bulma, Guru, and Nail to discuss their next course of action.
Meanwhile, Kui and various scouts would bring in the new scouters as Frieza ordered, and then searches the planet for the 2 remaining Dragon Balls that our heroes have. Now the reason why I say Kui shows up now is because since Frieza is completely off guard to the hero's presence, this means that he wouldn't call the Ginyu Force. He would call in some weaker henchmen that are being led by Kui.
So back on track, Goku and Zarbon would go visit Guru to get a power boost, while Nail, Gohan, and Krillin fly off to deal with Kui and his men. Bulma and Dende would go out on a raft searching for Frieza's base. Gohan and Krillin easily kill off the henchmen while Nail destroys Kui without a problem.
As for the Ginyu Force, they never show up, for Frieza felt that with Vegeta dead, no sign of Goku, and being unaware of Gohan and Krillin surviving Dodoria's onslaught, he thought they would be unnecessary. But anyway, once Kui and his reinforcements are dealt with, Bulma and Dende would have located the base. Zarbon and Goku then show up and devise a plan in order to steal the 5 Dragon Balls right under Frieza's nose.
Nail would distract Frieza while Zarbon leads Goku and Krillin into the base to steal the balls. Gohan would fly off with Bulma and Dende to find shelter while they wait
For the others.
Goku and Krillin steal the Dragon Balls while Nail gets beaten to a bloody pulp, and Zarbon is busy sabotaging the ship. They escape. Nail is seriously injured though, and he's just lying around somewhere. So Gohan or Zarbon, if he wasn't carrying anything, would go rescue him.
The Z Fighters gather all the Dragon Balls and then summon Porunga. Frieza would no doubt find out that the 5 Dragon Balls are missing and would track down the Z Fighters. Dende would use the first wish to revive/teleport Piccolo to Namek, and then he would use the second wish to do the same thing for one of the other dead Z Fighters. My guess would be Tien, since he's clearly the strongest, smartest, and fastest of the 3 remaining. So this means Chaozu and Yamcha would stay behind with King Kai for another 4 Earth months. But like seen in the anime and manga, Dende screws up and both Piccolo and Tien end up on Namek, but in a random location. It would take them at least an hour to arrive to fight Frieza, and even longer if Gohan, Krillin, Goku, and Zarbon didn't rescue Nail. This leads to 2 possible outcomes depending on whether Nail was indeed rescued or not.
So in scenario A, Nail is rescued and then is healed by Dende before Porunga is summoned. The first 2 wishes are still the same as mentioned before. Zarbon demands Dende to use the 3rd wish to make himself immortal, just like Vegeta did. Porunga dies once Guru dies. Goku flies Bulma to safety and tries to find Piccolo or Tien, and then Frieza shows up, and then the battle begins. At first, Gohan, Krillin, Nail, and Zarbon take him all on at once until his first transformation. They would get the shit knocked out of them until Tien and Piccolo arrive. The 2 of them then take Frieza's first transformation head-on, while Dende heals Gohan, Krillin, Nail, and Zarbon. They would stand somewhat of a chance, but round 2 ends in a draw. Frieza then transforms again and beats them badly. Gohan intervenes and saves both of them, but gets knocked around himself. Goku detects this right away and flies back to the battle. Zarbon takes on Frieza in his monster form and manages to subdue him until his final transformation. Zarbon still fights him, but ends up losing in the exact same fashion as Vegeta in the original series. Dende dies, Nail gets enraged and attacks Frieza to save Zarbon. Goku finally shows up, but both Nail and Zarbon would die. Goku buries them and remembers the story Zarbon told him and challenges Frieza to a deathmatch. He insists on Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo, and Tien to stay back and watch. The fight occurs mostly the same, with Goku being somewhat stronger than his series counterpart, but is still losing. He then calls forth the Spirit Bomb while Tien and Piccolo help Frieza off. They get beaten to a bloody pulp, but then Goku drops the Spirit Bomb on Frieza. Frieza survives, he kills Krillin and stuns Piccolo. Goku goes Super Saiyan and takes on Frieza again. Gohan and Tien take Piccolo back to Goku's spaceship to meet up with Bulma. Tien then tells Bulma to flee Namek with Gohan and Piccolo before it explodes, and then flies back to help Goku. Mr. Popo summons Shenron and revives all the Namekians, including Guru, Nail, and Dende, with Zarbon as an added bonus. Nail then escorts Dende to Porunga to make the final wish teleport everyone except Goku and Frieza to Earth. Zarbon flies over to get some payback at Frieza, with Tien about to help him out, but Dende's wish is granted, and thus all the Z Fighters instantly teleport to Earth without Goku. The rest of the Namekian saga remains constant, and then we enter the Trunks saga. But now we come to scenario B. Nail isn't rescued. Nail would remain stranded somewhere until Piccolo and Tien discover him on their way to fight Frieza. Piccolo tends to Nail and tells Tien to just carry on. Piccolo then absorbs Nail while Tien has just arrived at the scene, and he fights Frieza in his base form. Tien beats him without much effort, unlike Zarbon, who still gets worn out, but then Frieza enters his first transformation. Tien is able to hold him off until Piccolo arrives, and then everything continues as normal until Frieza's second transformation. The Z Fighters are still getting wrecked until Zarbon challenges Frieza alone. Goku arrives somewhat early since he detected Tien showing up earlier. He interrupts the match and attacks Frieza and beats him. Zarbon gets pissed off, but then shakes in fear when Frieza enters his final transformation. Zarbon isn't killed this time since Goku interfered, and then everything remains constant with both the series and Path A until Goku uses the Spirit Bomb. Zarbon would help Tien and Piccolo hold off Frieza, but he gets seriously injured along with them. The same thing happens like in Path A, with Frieza surviving the blast, killing Krillin and stunning Piccolo. Goku going Super Saiyan, Zarbon helps Tien and Gohan escape with Piccolo, but stays behind to look after Dende just so he can get another crack at Frieza, to be honest with ya. Shenron and Porunga still grant the wishes, and everyone is revived and teleported to Earth except for Goku and Frieza. The saga still remains constant from here on out, and then we finally enter the Trunks saga, which I will go over more in detail in part 2. Thanks for watching this video. That's if you actually made it to this point. Please subscribe and check out my other videos here. As always, tune in next time and for more. This is Definitely Marmada, signing out.